Role-playing game writers, it feels like you're in a really good spot. I think you've been paying a little bit too much attention inward, and it might be time to get out and start playing with other people or finding people for your own campaign. And this is how I got there. Now, before we get started, I do want to let you know that somewhere in this video, I'm giving you a promo code for 75% off of a tarot reading. There's only 15 spots, so once those 15 spots are done, it's done for the month, and then we'll do it again in October. Be sure that you watch to the end. Here we have the moon, and it is reversed. The way how I read the moon is a kind of in between clarity and darkness. With the star, we've got kind of the beginning of it's the beginning of building something new, and the sun is ultimate clarity. With the moon in the middle, it feels a bit kind of like in the middle of that, like there's some dark spaces to explore. Because it's reversed, I think it's a little bit more on your internal side. Maybe there's something that you haven't explored or that you're scared to explore as a role-playing game writer or game master. Here we have the Three of Pentacles, and this card literally says, go out and find a team. It's teamwork or the building of a new skill. With the Queen of Wands in reverse, the Queen loves to have a lot of attention on her. She kind of demands it. This is reversed, and it feels like there's a fear that kind of is coming off of it to me. More like you're keeping that demand inward, and demanding that of yourself. So I kind of think that this is something that you might be putting too much pressure on yourself, but let's see what the rest of the cards say. Here we've got the Eight of Swords in reverse. Probably not a mental trap. If you had a mental trap recently, you've probably gotten yourself out of it. The Ace of Wands reverse is a little interesting, actually, because aces are the beginning of a new cycle. When an ace comes up reversed, it usually means a no. As I'm looking at these cards, it makes me feel like you've kind of reached a stopping point, and you might be wanting to add things to the story. You might be wanting to try to entice, change things, not trusting the story that you're trying to tell. And it kind of makes me feel like the tarot is telling you not to do that. So stick with what you've got and build off of that instead of trying to go out in left field and grabbing something and adding something that would be off the wall, if so to say. Here you've got the Page of Wands. Pages are like the production assistants of the tarot. They are learning about their specific element. This page is particularly learning how to express their creative passions and their creative energies. So with the page, you also need to know that there is some inexperience going on. So this makes me feel like this is probably a new story that you're trying to reach out to other people to play. And you're maybe a new game master. You want to try something, inexperience. That's why you need to find some people just to play it, just to have fun, just try it, see what happens. And I'm going to get to the phone part in just a minute as well. Here you've got intuition. It's the High Priestess. She's all about intuition, and I like to think of her also as an oracle. She likes to give you the answers, but you need to prove yourself worthy of those answers. So like we've talked about here a little bit, there seems to be a little bit of fear going on with being a game master or a new story. Trust your instincts, and she will be able to tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. Like I said, with the fun part, we've got the Three of Cups. Just have fun with this story. It may be, you know how comedians go off and do mini like appearances before they film an actual special? That's probably what this feels like. It's a little bit more of like a test run or a dry run of a story that you're just now writing. Here you've got the Lovers reversed, and the Lovers is about dedication. What are you dedicating yourself to? I kind of am getting more of it is reversed, so we are getting a little bit more of a internal. Maybe there's a blockage a little bit because you're a little scared about the story and how people will respond to it. Again, the only way you're going to find out is if you do it and have fun with it, and if you find some other players to play it. The card at the bottom of the deck is the Four of Swords. It is in reverse. So to me, this means mental unrest. It's kind of a mental conflict, but more of like your wheels are just turning on the inside. And again, not expressing how you want to play the game with other people. So ultimately, kind of what I'm getting from these cards, it feels like you're just a little scared to make that extra leap. And I'm going to advise you to maybe take that extra leap this month. Maybe ask a player or two to come in. Maybe do like a mini version, a mini game. Do like one quest. Just see if it works, see if it doesn't work, and then revise from there. Numbers that you might want to pay attention to are 18, 3, 3, 8, 1, 1, 2, 3, 6, 4. Now, before I go into everything else about these numbers, you have double threes and you have double ones. And on top of that, you have 1, 2, 3, skip a 6, and it goes to a 4. So it seems like you're still moving forward, but there's still, because you got the 6 in between that 3 and 4, you're kind of taking a step back before you can move forward. So I'm going to try to just be aware of that. So now if you add all these numbers up, you get 49. 4 plus 9 equals 13. And 13 in the major arcana is the death card. Death does not mean actual death. Death means change. Something needs to die in order for something to grow. So like we've discussed here, it feels like you're holding back. Kind of let go of some of that fear, have some fun with it, meet some new people, can be able to continue on with this next journey of whatever comes next with this project. We could also take this a little bit further. 1 plus 3 equals 4, and 4 in the major arcana is the Emperor. The Emperor is like the father of the tarot. And what are fathers? They are protectors, they are rule makers, boundary makers. What I think the tarot is telling you regarding that whole situation is just to make sure that you have some boundaries for at least this first run, just to at least see what it feels like to create boundaries for your players, see what it feels like to create boundaries as a game master, and then adjust from there. Elementally, we have earth, air, fire, and water. Earth is your weakest element, so I'm going to actually advise you to pay attention to your earth element. With all of the stuff, it feels like, again, you're keeping all this stuff on the inside, so you're kind of maybe a little bit in the clouds, just kind of thinking about what you could do with the story kind of a thing. I think you need to bring yourself back down to earth just a little bit, not a lot, but just a little bit, just to make sure you know the mechanics about how and what you want to do with the story. In order to be more in tune with your earth element, I'm going to advise you to go to pay attention to the astrological signs Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Within these cards, you did get 3 major arcanas, 2 waters and 1 air. I'm actually going to advise you just to pay attention to sort of one card, only because it kind of comes up twice. I'm going to really tell you to pay attention to the moon. And here's why. First, you have the moon card. The moon planet is associated with the high priestess. Because the moon is sort of coming up twice, I feel like the moon has something to tell you regarding this project or what you're trying to do here. Colors you probably want to pay attention to are brown and purple. I do also pull 3 extra cards for you to spark some extra ideas in case you need them. First, we have Swan. Then you have Plot Twist. You could also go make this a second one. You got Pretzel. So there's 2 for 1 for you. And then we have, what are the major religions and philosophical systems of your world? Where did they come from and who follows them? So hi, I'm Chris, and I am a tarot reader who helps screenwriters and authors complete 3 to 8 projects in less than a year using tarot cards. I believe that when screenwriters and authors use the images of tarot cards to get more immersed into their own story, that by the time the story reaches the reader's hands, the world will just be so rich that the readers just won't be able to stop turning pages. If you're interested in taking this a little bit further and discovering how you can use tarot cards to create characters, write scenes, make them all 3-dimensional, get a little bit deeper with your intuition, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to invite you to go take a look at the link in my profile. On my website, I run a writing community. And in that writing community, we all use tarot cards to get more immersed into our own stories. I actually provide 2 writing prompts a week. One is what you should pay attention to energetically for the week. And the second is a writing prompt going through a story outline. Right now, we're going through Save the Cat. And it's kind of for plotters right now, which is actually a little different for me. I'm more of a pantser, but it's an interesting experiment. If you are struggling with a little bit of accountability, if you go to the Act 2 section of Flow Your Mojo, you have access to 3 write-ins a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, where for 2 hours, we just sit and write. It's supposed to be supportive. It's supposed to be a space where we can chat about where we are, what we're stuck on, and just kind of reconnect and make sure that we continue writing. There is an Act 3 tier if you want to have a writer's group. The promo code for September of 24 is King of Pentacles, all one word, KINGOFPENTACLES. Remember that there are only 15 spots, so go get yours as soon as you're done watching this video. So if any of these sound interesting to you, please come on by. I'd love to have you join the Flow Your Mojo community, and we'll go from there. If you've made it this far in the video, please like, subscribe, follow, and share, and I will see you in the next one.